Thank you for being here, everybody, for our second episode.
Number 2.
Back in the studio.
Consistency is key. And here we are.
That's right. And you working with your little mushroom tea over there?
It's not mushrooms, it's medicinal.
Oh, yes, I forgot.
I forgot the mug again, and I've already drank about half, but it's delicious.
What are we working with?
So it's
we might want them to sponsor us, by the way.
It's cannabis. Canna tea, I think. I think I might have butchered the name.
All right.
But a friend got this for me originally. This one's 10 milligrams THC, 5 milligrams CBD. And it's supposed to help with the creative process and open up your mind. Brilliant marketing. I don't know if it works.
Yeah. It sounds like bullshit.
There's a chance it is. Mushroom tea, though, microdosing. I've found that it does work, microdosing.
Well, microdosing works. That's like the real thing.
That's like the psychedelics.
There's this whole
psilocybin.
You're seeing this everywhere. Like the ones you can buy at the grocery store, whatever kind of mushroom that is, the lion's mane, your Reiki.
This is where we might disagree. If you will. I
don't feel anything.
I feel more youthful.
Really?
I feel sharp.
Is that what I'm missing? I need to try this.
I feel like it gives me more energy, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But you got to like do that and then also eat well or whatever. Like you can't have your favorite Big Mac and then throw in some lion's mane and feel like it's working.
See, that's where we differ because I do love a Big Mac, believe it or not.
No, I do too.
I'm a McDonald's girl. Do you really eat McDonald's?
Yeah, I had McDonald's. I had McDonald's in Italy, which as everyone knows, McDonald's abroad is amazing.
Yeah, because you want that taste of home.
Well, yeah, but also it feels like it's fresher. They got like some cool new menu item.
Really?
Also, like, at least in Italy, there were a lot of, like, it almost like looks like my Italian counterpart works at McDonald's and is enjoying the job. It doesn't feel that way here.
Right,
do you know what I mean?
Right. Everybody hates their life.
Right. There are like 30-year-olds working at McDonald's in Italy that are happy, have a retirement thing going on. They're like all chopping it up and they're like, yeah, what are we doing after work?
Yeah.
Everybody in America looks just miserable because people are assholes. Let's be real. We both worked in customer service.
What does it differ in McDonald's in Italy? Like, is it marinara sauce on the Big Mac, or what are we talking here?
Dude, I think it was just the quality of the meat.
Are we dipping our chicken nuggets in olive oil? Like, what is happening?
They probably make it with really good olive oil. That's probably it.
I just feel like I would seek it out because really, the one time I traveled abroad, unpopular opinion, I did not like the food.
You didn't like it?
No, because I went to the Cannes Film Festival. I was on a budget.
Yeah.
I had an independent film that got in, and we were over there like nickel and diming it, buddy. And so whenever you're doing it that way, it was hard it wasn't like, oh, the food's amazing. It was like, I just wanted to eat. I wanted to eat something familiar. I would have loved a McDonald's in France. I never saw one.
Really?
Well, not in Cannes.
No, that's like nice. That's like a very nice place.
Like the Beverly Hills of France.
Yeah, I think it's actually the sister city. Like you see those signs in Beverly Hills.
Yes,
it's hilarious. They're probably in English in France. Like
they're like, we don't want to claim you.
Yeah, exactly.
This is I didn't know that before I went. I didn't know like how upper echelon that whole area was. And I say Cannes and I say Cannes because I still don't know the right way.
Who knows? I'm pretty sure it's Cannes.
People say both though. Whenever you're there, people say Cannes.
Listen, I've been an assistant for a lot of people.
And they were going to the Cannes Film Festival.
Yes, but also some of them were going to the Cannes Film Festival.
Yes.
So it's like there is no real, who knows? Who knows?
And then there's James Caan. He runs his own film festival, and that's down the road. And that's a very confusing. I'm just kidding.
Is he still alive?
I think he died recently. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Honestly, my dad. Oh, sorry about the mic. My dad said he named me after Brian Piccolo, who James Caan played in Bryan's song.
Who's Bryan Piccolo? Tell the audience.
He was a fullback for the Chicago Bears. And he was a running back, but he transitioned to fullback because Gale Sayers, one of the best running backs in NFL history, was in front of him. And they had two really good people. And he kind of helped develop a fullback position a little bit in helping Gale Sayers. But then he also, unfortunately, got cancer and passed away. Bryan's song is one of the movies that like most men cry at.
Okay, so
Like,
this
you'll
is
shed a
the
tear.
portion for the male audience because
Yes.
I have never heard of it.
But also film buffs.
Okay,
Bryan's song. You know?
I do kind of want to check it out if it's
And
your
also,
namesake.
yeah, ladies, if you want to make your guy cry, you want to see that sensitive side,
Right.
put on Bryan's song.
There you go. I love it.
He spelled it different though, so my dad messed that up. But
He did.
He tried to give me the uniqueness of the Y.
He had high hopes for you being a football player, maybe, or
I don't know if that pressure really existed because I was like 4'11"
So it's just
in
not
junior high and
happening.
high school. But yeah, I tried real hard. I think I was good without pads. You know what I mean?
okay.
Like we'd pick it up in the park.
Once the pads were on, it was too much weight for you to
my
carry
little body
around.
couldn't do it.
Got it.
You know,
Got it.
I was
Okay.
just not. It was just yeah.
Well, you have that face for Hollywood. You know, we couldn't get that slammed around.
No, I didn't want to get a concussion.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
See, in hindsight, it was a much better choice for you.
I feel more comfortable about this.
You're better behind the mic. I
We're
think.
sitting on a couch talking right now.
Exactly.
Football players are running wind sprints. I don't want to do that.
They can't. When I was a cheerleader, they used to make us train with the football players. Like, and people never believe me when I say this, but like we would do 2-a-days right alongside the football players.
I believe that.
And so we were running the bleachers. We were in the weight room. And that's why whenever people say like cheerleading's not a sport, I get very mad about that because
yeah,
state champs, baby.
hell yeah. Well, also it's different in the South. I grew up in the Northwest, right? And it's like, it is big. Football is big. Cheerleading's
Yeah.
big. There's an aspect of that, but it's like in the South, that's tradition.
It's religion.
yeah,
in the
yeah,
South.
totally.
Football.
I'm sure
and
your family,
tailgating.
is your family's huge into,
Yeah.
didn't your brother play football?
My brother played football. Yes.
Yeah.
He got a scholarship in football, everything. Like, he was amazing. They called him Smash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he's a big boy.
He's a big guy?
You don't want to have him smash into you.
Dude.
He was the Joel Smash.
Oh, shit.
Shout out, Joel.
Shout out, Joel.
So how's your week been? What's it looking like for you? You've been hitting the mic scene a lot. I've
Hitting
noticed.
the mics, you know. Yeah, I've been trying to stay consistent, just get as much stage time as
Get
possible.
those reps in, as
Get
they
those
say.
reps in. You know, I mean, listen, I had a strong level of consistency, I'd say 2021 up until early 2023.
Okay.
Got a job, consumed my life.
You were a working man. You can't be sitting around waiting to go up at a mic.
Well, it was also like 70-hour weeks and I just couldn't balance it.
Right.
So I've been hitting it hard. I left that job in June and the best thing I've done, you know, recenter, reground to kind of put everything into perspective. So yeah, anyway, hitting the mics, getting into that groove,
Getting on the grind. as
getting
they
on the
say.
grind. Dude, saw an assault
What?
literally yesterday at a mic. Yeah.
No.
Which is crazy.
Tell us.
So I wasn't keyed into any of this drama.
What mic is it? Can we say? We can say what mic it was, right?
We
It's
could
one of
probably-
the more popular mics.
It's the fourth wall.
Yeah, that's the one you frequent.
I
know.
feel like that's my home base.
Yeah.
I like to hone in on stuff and then take it abroad.
I love the fourth wall. I was one of the first female hosts they had. I used to host Monday night.
Yeah.
And Joe Menente, the owner.
Shout out Joe.
Shout out Joe.
Great
It's
guy.
great what he's created. There's several locations. If you're trying to get into comedy, the fourth wall is the place to do it.
Yep.
And because you can just they're all over the city now. And you can just go and you can practice. But you do have people there that are characters.
Characters, you know, the fourth wall is you know, freedom of speech based. And sometimes
if you have $5, they will give you the mic.
you can say whatever the hell you want for
It's
$5.
good and bad.
Yeah. But
Wait,
you know,
but an assault though, not an assault.
so okay,
Tell us what
so
happened.
so I'm about 10 minutes early to this mic and it's a daytime. So it's closed up. Did I mention I was unemployed?
Yeah.
And you know, it's about noon, 10 minutes till it starts, and I see the comic who actually ended up assaulting another comic, and you know, I hadn't seen him in a while, like since 2023 or late 2022 or something. And
we're not saying the names so that we don't get assaulted.
we're not going to say the names.
At
And
the next mic we attend.
yeah, it's just, you know, whatever. If you know, you know, and if you've heard it, then you've heard it. But it was just kind of wild because, you know, we're sitting there talking, everything seems to be going well. He's telling me about his second hour that he's developing, and I'm sitting there thinking, how was the first? But it's neither here nor there. Yeah. And, it's supportive. It's all over trying to just talk, collaborate, whatever. And it seemed like it was all good, having a good conversation. And then another comic shows up and he just kind of starts, I could tell something changed.
Girl or guy?
So I was talking to a guy.
Okay.
A female comic comes up.
Gotcha.
She's waiting too. And honestly, I was a little bit late to even get started. I think it got started at, maybe 1:05. Okay. But the host kind of showed up just on the dot.
I've heard the hosts have really fallen off since I've not been hosting myself. I'm just kidding.
Might be it. Joe, hire her back. I was kind of posted up on the sidewalk edge and they were kind of leaned up against the wall waiting for the door to open. And I noticed when she got there, there was a little bit of a change in the energy, but I couldn't exactly pick up on what it was. And
Bryan can feel an energy change. It's due to all the cannabis tea that he drinks.
And the lion's mane.
You really, you feel those levels, those vibrational levels.
I've hippie flipped enough to feel all the vibrations in this room. But no, so, it was kind of bizarre because he starts going in on her Wikipedia and he's like, do you fake your Wikipedia? Like, I've noticed you have a lot of non-truths on there. And I'm thinking to myself, this feels very Orwellian. Why is he saying non-truths?
Right.
And I'm just thinking they're bantering and I'm like, no, anybody can edit that. And there's a whole process to have to get it corrected if someone does anything on there or whatever. And she's not saying anything. And he continues to go in on her. And I'm like stretching, on the sidewalk. Cause
getting ready for those reps.
Well, I'm trying to keep the nerves out, the open mic, a little improv stuff.
Bryan's a real physical comedian. There's a lot of pratfalls. There's a lot of act out.
A lot of farce.
You got to see this man live to know what I'm talking about. But
a lot of jumps.
Yeah, a lot of jump squats.
A lot of jump squats.
I mean, your closer. I don't know.
I don't know what that means, but hell yeah. Okay, so back to the assault.
Take us there.
So he ends up berating her about her Wikipedia, and then she's quiet the whole time. He then, as I'm stretching, did I mention I was stretching? I'm going up from the stretch, and I see him smack the coffee out of her hand.
Oh my God.
And I yell this guy's name. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? And as I'm kind of doing this, processing what's happening, he has one of the hydro flasks, unscrews the top, pours the water all over her.
Oh my God.
She kind of turns and he pushes his hydro flask and hits her in the face with it. And at the same time, sprints off. And
oh my God.
I didn't know what to do. I just kind of checked on her. There were other comics who he was in the running path of. So they kind of saw him. And they looked kind of where his car was.
So there's a lot of witnesses to this.
Dude, it's 5 comics that all see this.
Okay.
People on the street who just happen to be around there.
Fourth wall.
Hey, it ended up being 10. But it was bizarre, dude. And I guess he hit a car. He Austin Powers'd it, knocked a car on the way out.
God.
And then backed up, knocked a car, moved forward, hit the trash garbage truck. And it was insanity. He ended up getting away. 2 hours later, he posted about his second hour. True shit. It's true. It's absolutely true.
And the cops came.
Cops ended up showing up.
Okay, good. I really hope that he's going to get in some type of trouble for this. I didn't know that this comic was violent. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
And he's only beaten me with his terrible, terrible jokes. My ears have been beaten, but this is a physical, there's physicality here. This charges need to be pressed.
Yeah. I mean,
plus the water dumped on her head, and she's a girl. As a girl, do you know how long it takes to do our hair? You can't just dump a can of water on my head.
Just do that without shampoo and conditioner soaked up in there.
Throw hands at you. This is
that
not,
alone.
But this is all based on what now? We have to tell.
This is based.
She created
a documentary, and I had not seen the documentary. I had zero context, and he was, very pissed off. I don't think it warranted that.
Talk trash on him in the documentary.
Listen, I watched it, and I mean,
it's pretty bad.
There was, first of all, God bless for doing it.
Yeah.
you completed something, that's something.
Yeah.
I couldn't follow the whole thing necessarily. I'm not going to trash it with a Rotten Tomatoes review right now, but there was at least a 10 to 15 minute period in it where, you know, it's cutting to asking other comics about this comic and they're laughing, and it's a little bit putting on blast in a way that
you can't put people on blast.
Didn't feel necessary, because the fourth wall.
People to make a documentary about my open mics.
Hell no.
Good Lord.
Like,
the fourth wall is supposed to be a safe space. You're going there to work out material. Any open mic, you're going there to work out material. You shouldn't be like filming people or talking about people.
Couldn't agree more.
But you know, violence is never the answer.
Violence, I've never seen him violent. You know, I definitely think that he's an interesting guy in the way that he thinks. I think that there is a level of I don't know. Like,
I think there's a spectrum of
there's
sorts
a spectrum.
At play.
Yeah, there's a spectrum aspect for sure. And I don't know. I've never seen. He always seems passive and just really into stand up. You know, for better or worse. And like, I think maybe that was highlighted in a weird way, but it does not warrant being violent at all.
That's crazy.
It's nuts. And also worse is like, I felt emasculated. Like,
because you didn't do more to help.
Like, I should have done more.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like, in that situation,
it happened so quick.
It happened fast, but also he's really slow and unathletic, so it was all very, like, you know. And that's not a knock. Like, I don't know if he aims to do that in life, and that's cool. But like, you know, I've been to some F45 classes.
Look, you were named after a linebacker, for God's sake.
I mean, it was a fullback, but yeah, still, like, these guys are athletic, you know. And I was stretching because I had a pretty intense workout before.
Do you
know
do
what I mean?
F45 classes, really?
I used to. Now it's just like at home in the bat cave. Like,
the closest I've gotten to an F45 studio is I performed in one.
Oh, do they have a show in there?
They do. Well, they have those Don't Tell comedy shows.
Oh, is that it? Yeah.
And I was in Austin and I got booked on one, and you never know, like, it's always some random locale. And this one was at a F45. It's the only time I've been inside. But yeah, that's tough wild. Classes. Like, the things you see at open mic, I swear, the Laugh Factory open mic, which is a very infamous, for lack of a better word, it happens on Tuesdays, and the lineup starts at like 3:30 and the show starts at 5, and there are unhoused individuals, you know, whose mental capacity is questionable.
Same with the big two, like improv and Comedy Store. You see a lot of that there too.
At the biggest open mics, like the ones where all the real comics go, you also have this mixed bag of these other people that you don't really know why they're there. They're just there because they want to be heard, and they're free. The Laugh Factory one and the Comedy Store, like, they're free. So yeah, you can't really turn anybody away per se.
No.
And
they want,
that is why they are 3 and 4 hours long.
That is why. And also, it's just like, you know, I think it's unique to comedy in the sense of like, anyone can get up on there. Mm-hmm. Anyone can get up and do material or whatever they think is funny.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's a raffle situation, so you don't always know, but they'll hang out and they'll get a laugh.
Right.
But I think a lot of, and this isn't to say, you know, who knows, draw your own conclusions from this specific story, but there is a big aspect of, like, you know, mental health that goes into it.
Yes.
Like, we're not all right in the head for getting up and doing the aspects of trying to make somebody laugh. Like,
anybody that wants to do comedy,
there's always something, dude.
There's always a little kernel of mental illness in there,
and
to
you
want to do
accept
this.
it, and then you just try to get up and be authentic with it.
This is why whenever I started, like, I always hosted the mics because I can't stand the waiting. I can't stand the waiting. And I didn't understand when I first started comedy that, like, being the host, it doesn't mean anything. Like, it doesn't mean that you're, like, better or more. Like, I my very first open mic that I ever did was the Ha Ha Cafe. And after the first one, they asked me to be the host. And I was like, I must be pretty good at this comedy thing. They just want me to come back tomorrow and host this bitch. It's like, no, they want a girl to go up there. But this is the thing. If you are starting comedy, this is what I tell everybody, host an open mic, because you get the most stage time. Mm-hmm. You're bouncing up and down in between each comic. So the stage, the whole thing of, like, being on stage, it loses that whatever, you lose your level of fear very quickly.
You start getting used to it.
I mean, the Haha Cafe to this day feels like my bedroom. Like I'm just so comfortable there whenever I'm on stage. I'm used to like laying in the back booth, like waiting to go up and call the next person.
The first booth, right when you walk in there.
The owner really hates that I do that. But I just don't. It's where I learned to like not care about being on stage per se, because I was just up and down and you're going and you kind of lose that. And then you have to keep writing. And so it accelerates your writing, because you'll find the same group of people come to the open mics.
Yeah.
And they've heard all your dumb jokes after you've hosted like one. So you have to come back the next night with new ones. And it accelerated my writing process in a way that I always suggested to new comics.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not hosting one now, or I would pub it now more than I just did the Haha, which will not book me. But no, I'm just kidding.
I think that's sage advice, though. Like,
they just don't pay. I go where the money is, Bryan.
I mean, that is a necessity.
It is.
It's expensive to live in Los Angeles.
You need it whenever you are a lady in Hollywood.
Did I mention I was unemployed? Slide into the DMs or comment for a job.
Speaking of being a lady in Hollywood, I had an almost assault.
Oh, wow.
That I haven't told you about yet.
No.
Okay, this is crazy. And this is why I feel like I just am so lucky and I have like angels or God around me right now, because, and I'm sorry, like my mom should probably not hear the story. She's going to worry about my neighborhood. This happened last night, Bryan. I was coming back from the grocery store. I have one of these neighborhoods where the parking is not ideal. Okay. There's a lot of circling. I've been looking for a parking place, because I don't have one included in my apartment. And finally found a meter. This is close to Wilshire.
Okay.
Where at night it gets a little dicey.
Yeah.
And normally I would be parking at an earlier time, but I had a late night grocery store run. So I'm just leaving, park at a meter. I'm leaving my car and I'm start to walk towards my apartment. And this all happened so quickly too. I have my bags and I heard somebody going, "Hey sis, sis." And like, I just ignore it because my brother lives in Mississippi. I was just like, what? And then all of a sudden this car full of girls pulls up and they're like dressed nice. Like they're going to go out. They're like in this nice car. And they were like, "Hey, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you want to get in the car?" And I was like, "What?" And then I noticed what's going on. There's a unhoused person, no shoes on, tattered clothes, kind of like limping after me like
Holy
this.
shit.
He was the guy going, "Hey, sis. And I turned around and I saw him and he goes, "First of all, hello." And I was like, and they go, "Are you okay, girl? Do you want to get in the car? Get in the car." And like, I knew they were not with him. Like this was not
clearly
some type of
this isn't some taken shit.
Yeah, like I was just like, and they looked like they were dressed too nice to hurt me. So I was gonna get in their nice car, and then I get in, and they were like, "That was so weird. We saw him running after you parked," and they were like, "Do you live around here?" I'm like, "Yeah, my building's like 2 buildings up." And I don't know why, but like an accent always just relaxes me. The guy driving them, he had like a British accent and he was like, "Yeah, we clocked it." He's like, "We saw him see you get out of your car." And then he started running. He went from a literal walk to kind of a sprint and he was coming after you. And they were like, "That was so scary. Oh my God." They were like, "We'll stay right here while you get inside." And they like just watched. And he was still kind of like hobbling down the street.
Like he had a pirate leg.
Yeah, he had no shoes on and he was jacked. He was like, "Hey sis." Like he was on some shit. I mean, I think he just hit his fourth wall for the night. Like he was on some. But yeah, I safely got into the apartment. My angels had me.
Wait, you hopped in the car obviously because
I hopped in the car. It was like a nice like 4Runner. Like they just drove me like half a block.
That's crazy.
But that could have been so bad, and I didn't even clock it. Like I did not notice that. This is why you cannot be on your phone. You cannot be worried about like your bags. You have to keep your head on a swivel.
You got to be present.
Yeah,
you got to be present. I know that's kind of what I took away from. Yeah, I'm sure.
Because I have like I have my.
Yeah, can we play what is in this bag?
Look, I have this mace, but like I couldn't fumble around and get this. This is mace. This is supposed to be a life-saving device. Do we think this would have been of any? I mean, this was like
that would have helped.
Buried in the bag. I know, but I would have had to get to it.
For those of you can't see it, but Carlisle has this monstrous beach bag here.
Okay, first of all, fashionista that I am, this is my purse, and this is like one of those. This was given to me when I was a bridesmaid. Yeah, thanks Shelby, for not putting bridesmaid on it, so that then I couldn't then carry it as a purse.
That is nice.
This is why you leave it blank, so that the broke girlies can use it as their bag. And I carry this with me everywhere.
What's in there?
I mean, anything you need. Let's get
just pull out what's interesting.
Okay, look. Do you need sunscreen? Because I have two kinds. Do you need?
This is legit a beach bag.
Do you need with zinc or without zinc? Because I have both.
If you got the higher SPF, that's ideal for my skin.
Listen, sometimes you're out somewhere with your dog. I have a sweet dog, Chloe. Some of the Hang Gang, y'all might remember her from past episodes. She will be back. Sometimes Chloe acts up and you need a dog treat or two. Chloe deserves a choice. Okay. So we have the braided and the non. We have both. We have an extra pair of socks. You know, those work shifts get long, and sometimes I'm going from thing to thing. I'm going right from my shift to an open mic, to a show, to a hike at Runyon Canyon. Got to have new socks.
Gotta have new socks.
I mean, what else? What else do you need? Do you need a protein bar? Are you hungry? Do you need a snack?
I'm good.
Because this is good. This is brand new.
If I eat that, it'll mess with the tea.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to bring your high down, but look, did you sneeze? Did somebody have allergies in the building? Because your girl's got you. I've got Kleenex. I'm prepared for literally any situation.
I love it.
I'm glossed up. She's glossed. She's ready.
That's essential.
She's got a matte situation. She's got more color. If it's not popping on camera, you never know.
Never know.
And then you just have the clear gloss, which you always need. I have a full makeup bag. Okay, ready to go. We won't even get into that. That's a whole separate sitch. Also, do you have a table that you need to wait on? Do you need to wait on a table? Because I'm ready. Like, let's go. I can't tell you where I work because that's top secret.
Top secret information.
Here's a clue if you're a sleuth. Yeah, whenever I go on a hike, you have to downsize. You can't take the beach bag to your hike. So that's where the little Lululemon fanny pack
I do
comes
like
in.
the fanny pack.
Now you're like, this should be your purse.
It does feel like maybe you should transition all the things, sans apron and sunscreen, into that little bag.
Are you a little stinky? Do you need deodorant? I mean, I have degree here. Have you had an accident of some sort or multiple? Because I have poop bags. This is a good life hack that I just saw.
You should have given that to the unhoused person you saw. Which it is a shame we can't call them homeless. That feels very...
Look, you just got us demonetized. I just learned this life hack. I know you have dogs too.
I do.
So I wanted to tell you.
Yes.
You can use these as water. I saw a TikTok about it. Like if they need water and you have a water bottle.
Oh yeah. That's very smart.
You can roll this down and use it as a water bowl.
It holds it.
The things you learn on the Here for the Hang
But
podcast.
does it oh, I see. Just like a quick water bowl.
But listen, I'm not done. There's a peanut butter option for Chloe too. This is loaded with peanut butter. If she's really being bad, this will quiet her.
Did you put the peanut butter in there? Or?
Yeah, you have to load it before
wherever
you're taking her, and then it's ready to go. I also have just an extra shirt. You know, you never know when you're going to need a white V-neck tee.
That looks not white.
Look, it's not white, but it's there and it's extra. I wanted to buy a brand new one and Target was out, by the way.
Oh.
Did you know that Kanye never wears a white t-shirt more than once?
I love that.
He throws them away.
All I used to wear was white t-shirts. I was like Doug. White t-shirts and shirts. White t-shirts,
this
shirts.
This is also a bachelorette.
Pants.
This is a bachelorette thing that I've kept on to because you never know if you're going to need some Marilyn Monroe sunglasses. It's LA.
Those look good on you.
What else do I have? Am I done? I mean, there's Altoids. You know, you always got to have your Altoids.
Yeah, you can't be walking around with bad breath.
These are called dewdrops. This is a hyaluronic acid. We won't show the brand because they don't sponsor us. But do you feel a wrinkle coming on? Put this. It fills the wrinkle.
Hey, it works. Let's go, baby.
Little dabble do ya.
It's all about the skincare routine.
So yeah, that's what's in my bag, Brian. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Lotion. I think I didn't realize there was so much in your bag.
There's a lot.
We can probably, let's table it.
I mean, I could keep going.
There's at least 17 more things. Oh, wow.
I showed all the on-camera things. The rest are top secret.
Yeah, I gotta hide some other stuff in there. Scandalous.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can't say where I work because I signed an NDA, and we can't say where Bryan works either
because I don't have a job.
It doesn't exist. But yeah.
But one's coming up. I got a good feeling. I got some irons in the fire.
You guys, if you have an idea, let us know.
If you have an idea of how to make money passively, passive income, that'd be great.
There's so many people in LA that just are doing things for money that are not actual things. There's a lot of charlatans running around this town.
Oh yeah.
And I don't.
And for charlatans, for those who don't know, do you want to?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you about a charlatan that I ran into recently.
And I think I might be one of the people who isn't exactly clear
on what that means.
I hate to admit it, but yeah.
Con artist.
Oh, just a con artist.
Yeah, just a person that is literally taking money for a service that's not really a service. You'll see this in a lot of club promoters. You'll see this in a lot of acting coaches. That's the one that I ran into quite recently.
Oh, you had a bad coach, acting coach?
Really bad experience with one of the more renowned teachers in LA, and I won't.
Are we going to say who it is?
Name. I don't think we can because I don't want anything to derail.
Let's just keep it positive.
Well, yeah, we'll keep it. Look, this is a hypothetical person, but if you were to say like the 6 renowned acting coaches in town, I have studied with every single one of them, and they vary in their con artistry, on a spectrum. But this one was the tip top because this was a 2-week acting intensive.
Oh, damn. Those are expensive classes, man.
This woman dared to charge $2,300. Okay. But I've always heard this name. It's like one of those names you hear around for years and years. Like, oh, you should take blah, blah, blah. Like, she's really good with cold reading. She's really good with auditioning. Auditioning is where that's not my strong suit.
Okay.
Once I get the job, I'm confident in my acting skills. My audition skills, that's a different story. Okay.
All right.
So I was like, oh yeah, this woman will help me, like with auditioning technique.
It all starts there.
First of all, we don't even need this skill anymore. Everything's self-tape.
True.
Audition technique, what it used to be in like the 90s, early 2000s. Like we don't even need this class. Anyway, I still fall for it.
For those who aren't like actors.
Yeah, sorry if this is too inside baseball.
I mean, it might be, but also you never know. Like it's basically you do a slate, say who you are.
Yeah.
Give your height, weight, whatever else, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't audition. I don't know. I'm not an actor.
It's very basic things. It's like, whenever you have your sides, that's what they call the script or the lines. You're going to hold it up so that your eye line is with the other person. You don't want to hold your sides down like this where you're looking down. Then we've lost that moment of connection.
Right.
These are all things that I knew. I don't know why I felt like I had to take from this woman. But again, it looks good on a resume. It would complete that I've studied with all the 6, the master teachers of acting. This woman has a book and she's by the way, anybody, that book could have been 5 sentences. And this is the first charlatan thing she did.
Her life's work.
Yeah, exactly.
Sum it up, lady.
This is the first thing that made me so angry. You pay $2,300 for the intensive.
That's so much money.
You get to the thing, and then they're like, okay, and now you need to buy her book. I'm like, wait, the book doesn't come with what I've already paid.
There are materials?
You criminal? Like the book doesn't come with the $2,300? No, it doesn't, Bryan.
It feels like you need to take out a student loan for this class.
So you do.
It's wild.
So, and I was working with them on a payment plan, which is like even more sickening because I'm sitting here physically working and giving this woman, whole paychecks at this point. And then I walk in and they have the audacity to charge me for a book, which is $29.95 or whatever. And I'm like, okay, let me pick which Amex has the most space on it. So that's the first thing that turned me off about it. Then we're going around the room and we're saying like, she's not present yet. She has one of her minions.
Oh, she's not even like, teaching it?
Listen, this is horrible. This woman's a con artist. So it's always like somebody that's studied with her for years or whatever, that's like checking you in, like the master student, her protege. And he's telling us like, oh yeah, she's great. You guys are going to love her, blah, blah, blah. And he's like warming us up. He's like the warm up guy going around asking where everybody's from. There are people that have flown in. The farthest one I heard, there was somebody from Luxembourg. There was somebody from Georgia, the country, not the state.
Whoa.
Okay. There was somebody from Melbourne. I'm not even kidding you. Like this woman's reputation precedes her to this degree.
Okay.
That people have flown in. There was a group chat before this class started, like, because we were all in an email and then somebody started a WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like saying things like, oh yeah, I just got to the hotel. Is anybody, interested in meeting up for a happy hour? That's when I realized like people were flying in to do this class.
That's crazy.
But I was kind of like, in my dumb mind, I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, this is going to be really good. Like, people are flying in from all over the world to study with this chick.
Totally.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Worth the money, baby.
And we're going around and there's people like struggling with the English language in the room too. Like, they're just, this is not going to be anything that.
Not ideal for an English speaking acting class.
No. Like,
necessarily.
I start to kind of put together more and more what's happening.
Yeah.
And then they go, okay, so it's time for you to meet her.
Wait, sorry, real quick.
I can't say her name.
Is she also a casting director?
No.
Okay. But maybe she has plugs and that's part of the conversation. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So then they're like, it's time for you to meet her. You're going to love her. She's amazing. She's going to teach you all these things that you need to learn about acting. They wheel in a TV, Bryan. They wheel in a screen, and this woman is on a damn Zoom.
What?
She is on a Zoom when people have flown in, rented hotels. There were people on that WhatsApp saying, I just checked into my hotel. Like, there were people that spent additional money outside of the price to do this. And this woman is on Zoom.
Wow.
And she's about in her 80s.
Okay. All right.
And she's like, in her nice house, in her mansion, I'm sure that all of the money has bought. And I'm sitting here counting how many people are in the room.
How many?
And I counted 14 people. So 14 people at $2,300, that's over 39 grand. And you are zooming in from your kitchen. Like this angered me so much.
That's wild.
And I made an Instagram about it. Sorry, just not to plug my own Instagram, but you will see there's an acting coach that I'm making fun of on this. I'm so glad that I got this bit out of this class because that is all I got out of this class. Damn. Whenever you watch that on Instagram, it's her. That's what I'm talking about. She couldn't be more full of herself.
Well, listen, I mean, it tracks. I think a lot of.
I'm not done, but.
Oh, keep going. No. Keep it cruising.
This woman, so then she's like, okay, I want to meet everybody. Everybody stand up and get closer to the screen. I can't see everybody. Everybody get close. And she's going around the room. And she's like, you there in the white, where are you from? And that's me. And I live here in Los Angeles now, as we know, but I'm from Mississippi.
Right.
So I said, I was like, I'm from Mississippi. And she's like, well, so then you're voting for Trump? We got to get this Trump. The red monster. It's all about, listen, we can't. She goes off on this rant. And I was like, no, I live in LA now. I live down the street. I actually have lived here for 20, I'm trying to say all these things and she's just talking over me, ending with her going, Kamala, 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 like a senior moment.
What?
Where she's screaming over me, just assuming things about me, which I get a lot from being from Mississippi. But to this degree, it was so embarrassing.
That's crazy.
It was so embarrassing. I was embarrassed for me. I was embarrassed for her. And I was just like, okay. I just kind of got smaller and smaller. And then she just went on to the next person.
That's wild.
And her whole thing was in her little rant, she was like, I'm not about division and blah, blah, blah. It's but you're creating division right now based on the fact that I told you I'm from the South.
And you associated all this inaccurate, weird stuff with me based on stereotypes.
And it's just crazy. And then so then that was just the meet and greet with her. Okay.
Good Lord.
So she's not even there to like actually teach her class. It's just a student that's like higher up in the ranks that teaches. Okay. So then he comes in.
Like a TA.
Yeah, exactly. And he's the real one you're taking from. You're not taking from her. And
she's 15 miles away.
Exactly. And 80 years old and like having political outbursts, apparently. Like people are very polarized with this stuff. And to a degree that it's just wild. But we're not going to get into that. This is not a political podcast. But I just want to say this guy then, his first lesson was about how whenever we're doing the slate, like how you were saying, Bryan, when you're like, I'm Bryan and I'm 5'5", and he's like, and I'm a tall guy, and like people will always say, just the most dumb things that I've heard 1,000 times, like, oh, how's the air up there? And you want to have a retort. And I raised my hand. I was like, people do that to me too about being from the South.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, really? What do they say about being from the South? And I was like, so you're going to vote for Trump? And he was like, who says that? And I was like, the teacher said that before, because he wasn't in the room.
He was not
whenever
there.
It happened. And then his face kind of fell and he was like, oh, I'm sorry. Because he was really lovely. Like, I have nothing against him.
Yeah.
He was just like, oh, that's not good. And I was like, yeah, it's not good.
Dude.
You can't do that on like a group level. You cannot assume people's political here or there. Like, it's
weird.
It used to be, voting, you go in the booth for a reason. Like it is a private thing. And now because it's like part of news, everybody just assumes like, they can say anything.
Yeah.
And so, but this is the thing. It was from 9 to 4 was the class. And the whole rest of the day was the most basic, inane, like I was talking about, hold the paper up and see. And I only got to work one time for like a total of 10 minutes on a scene. And the rest of the day, I'm just watching people do scene work.
Oh my gosh.
So I quickly realized this is not a good use of my thousands of dollars. And I just send an email.
That's all you can do.
And I stuck up for myself. And I was like, this woman obviously hates people from the South, has an instant judgment about people from the South, which a lot of people do, based on, January 6th.
It's insane, dude. And it's like, not everyone was there from the South, okay? This isn't the Civil War.
Yeah.
It's pockets of people everywhere. There are people in California who are going to vote for Trump.
Exactly. There's people everywhere that are going to vote for whoever they want
Half
to.
the country. Let's be real.
And that's fine. And this woman is going to be...
Live your life.
Continually surprised. Like, she had the audacity to write back. So the studio was like, okay, we'll refund your money. They could like hear the lawsuit in my email. And they were like, right away, yes, you're getting your money back. Like, we're so sorry. And the promptness with which they wrote back, I feel like this happens to her a lot.
Oh, I bet.
I think especially, have you noticed, like, whenever people get up there in age, like they have a harder time controlling, what they think is right, and they want to push it down on people. And I get
100%.
it. You think you have more wisdom because you live more of a life, but about these issues, you can't just assume and then just like word vomit all over people on a group level where I can't talk back to you. You're supposed to be the teacher.
Crazy. Yeah.
You're creating an environment that's now not safe. So she wrote me this email that was like, I would love to talk more, and gave me her personal cell phone number.
Whoa.
And was like, you're completely right. And I would really like it if you would come back to class. I'm like, oh, I'm sure you would.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure you would love my $2,300, but you ain't getting it. So
$2,300 and just like the, reputational aspect for her. She doesn't want to be, God forbid this gets out that I am actually this way.
God forbid she talks about it on a podcast.
God forbid. Here for the hang gang.
I'm sorry, but it's just like, I don't know how these people think these things are not going to get out. And I had one of the fellow students reach out to me because we all had our numbers on the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
And he said that they talked trash about me the next day. like that because she did physically shuffle in at some point. And she was like, Carlisle will not be with us. Apparently not everybody is ready to hear what I have to say. And, you know, she was like, I'm very, like, what did he say? He just said that she was just like, you know, I say what I mean. I say what's on my mind. And it's like, yeah, you can't do that about politics whenever you're supposed to be talking about acting. Like and you're talking about, she was saying she didn't want to create division, but she created the most division of all.
Yeah.
And he said everybody went around the room and chirped and they were like, oh yeah, well, she's a comic. And so she's probably this and she's probably that. It's like, you can't, again, it's just like everybody has their opinions and you just can't do that in this day and age.
No, you can't.
But some people are making a living out of it, which is what's really sad. So anyway, that was my big charlatan story. And
well, at least you got the jokes in.
I got the jokes
and
in.
You got
I
the
got
email in.
a nice piece of content
Yeah.
for my Instagram reel. And I got my money back, y'all. You always stand up for yourself in this situation.
You did get the money back. See, that's a happy ending.
That's a happy ending.
That's all we can ask for.
And are we at the ending now?
Yeah, I think we are. Just wrap this, put a little bow on it.
Y'all, thank you so much for being here for the hang.
Thank you, guys.
Please like and subscribe. We're going to do this more and more. We're going to get some fun guests in here.
Yeah. More guests to come. The first of many guests to come.
That's right.
It's exciting.
More stories and more hanging.
More hanging.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, guys.